What is good, people? It is your boy, Man Like Will, back here on the channel. Bienvenidos, mi gente. It is Friday. Where's my air horn at? Oh, there it is. And yo, game week 2 has finally upon us, and I cannot think of a better way than to speak on this. There's a match preview against Aston Villa, and then with my 2 special guests, I have here Tureece representing Mandem Talk Arsenal.
Yo, what you guys telling me, man?
Oh, yo, what's good, my brother? What you saying?
Good, man.
You good?
I'm good, man. All's blessed, literally.
And I got my brother, man, Tereak with Tereak Talks. My man.
Hey, big up, Will. I was just chatting backstage. Love how you planned this perfectly for Tureece and Tereak. Like, you're gonna have to make sure you pronounce our names properly. You can't say T because we're both gonna be like, huh? What?
Yeah.
But it's perfect. I love it. Now, appreciate it. Though. Nice to meet you as well, Tureece, man.
Yeah, man. Nice to meet you, man. We've spoken already. Nice guy.
Yeah. Hey, top man.
People, and really though, like backstage, yeah, it was just like it took me a minute, but yeah, 2 and 2 together, yeah, Tureece and Tereak, yeah. I can't really just call him T anymore. It's peak. But nah, boys. After a successful opening game against Wolves, I just want to quickly just touch upon it. Yeah. What did you guys make of it? Did you think it was a convincing victory? Yeah, we got 3 points, but was it really the good first impression that Arteta and company had to make? And I'll start with you, Tureece.
David Raya saved us, bro. David Raya saved us for me. That's the saves that he made. I can't lie. If Wolves were more clinical, they could have done something to us that game. Like, there was moments where I felt like the patterns of play we was doing was amazing. I remember in the first half, like from 15th to the 30th minute, it was brilliant. But we could not put the chances away. Martinelli, he was in the right places, but it was just that final decision making. I remember that one time he was on the edge of the book. I'm sorry, he ran down the line and he couldn't cut it back to Declan Rice, but instead he shoots near post. Like, what's that? You know what I mean? It's just that clinical edge that we're missing, man. We could have it could have been 5 or 6, but it also could have been 2-2 if they put away their chances. You know what I mean? So convincing. I wouldn't say it was convincing, but we want to, just move on to the next game. You know what I mean? That's what I feel about it.
I hear that. I thought the first half was much better in the first half.
Yeah.
Didn't create too many chances of note, but we looked like we was getting into the box. There was a few little bits where we could have maybe had a penalty. I thought possibly the Saka one where he kind of chopped it back and then Totti took him out afterwards. If Saka didn't do that little, drop afterwards, if he went down in one motion, we could have got a penalty there. But it was much better in the first half, and then we started to see a bit more sloppy errors in the second. Like, the person who epitomised that the most is Partey. I thought he was brilliant in the first half, in possession, weaving through challenges, in the press, turning, playing forward, keeping possession well. And then in the second half, giving it away too often, but not just Partey. Saliba was the same. That was probably one of his worst games in possession that we saw, especially in that second half. And then Zinchenko giving it away, but not just them. Like, I know people like to scapegoat Zinchenko and Partey at times on socials, but we saw Saliba doing it, and he's one of the fans' favourites. Gabriel were doing it also. So you can tell it was one of them games where it's the first game of the season, trying to get everyone bedded in sharpness back up. Like, think about it. Saliba just recently come back after the Euros from holiday, played 45 minutes against Leverkusen, and then majority of the game against Lyon, but really not had anything else apart from that. So we've still got players coming in, bedding in. We've still got Calafiori to see, of course, and Timber off of the back of an injury, and he gave it away too after a nice turn. So it just shows you that still early days, but I think Arsenal were good enough to get the result. But big up David Raya. Tereak said it well. The mad save that was. Yeah. Gary O'Neill was praised to the rafters, man. Yeah. But a good 2-0 win in the end. I think at this stage of the season, results more than performances until after the international break when we start to get some more consistency going.
I reckon so. And the thing is, I think both of you, I think, touched on some incredible points. Especially you, Tereak. I think, I mean, when it comes to Saliba and Partey, giving away recklessly possession. I think Saliba, especially considering that, yes, he is among the fan favorites. Like, I think there was 3 instances where he gave away possession. I think it was like two hour own half, right? And then I think in the second half, and 2 out of those 3 chances that he gave it away. Yeah, it really could have been Wolves like that. Like, Wolves could have just even things up, but thankfully Wolves are so poor up front that they didn't really capitalize. And but no, like but again, I think we played well. I think we played well. We just, again, I think it's just down to Russ. Do you guys think that is that some of the players just maybe down to international duty didn't get enough minutes with preseason? Do you think that there's still like some kind of dust they needed to kind of be topped off? You know what I mean, or no?
I wouldn't say so, because again, I look at the Bayern Leverkusen game. We was on fire that game. I wasn't seeing the mistakes we made in the Wolves game. You know what I mean? And against Lyon, it was just the same story. We had chances, but we couldn't put them away. It was pure domination. So, it was just the mistakes this game. But it's the first Premier League game of the season. You know what I mean? So you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like this, the temperatures in them matches and that. So yeah.
What I will say, when you mentioned Martinelli, like I get the frustration in that moment. He did actually cut it back a couple times to Partey. I think you remember one where Partey had an air shot, completely
Yeah,
missed the ball.
I remember that.
And then in the second half, he had another one with his left foot, where it fell onto his weaker foot and he curled it just wide. So Martinelli was doing that. In that moment, he went for goal when he should have passed, because Rice was literally right there.
Yeah.
But I thought Martinelli was, I think, from what we saw last season, that was a better Martinelli performance. Martinelli last season, my issue with him was he just stood on the touchline as a touchline winger, not just getting chalk on his boots, never coming inside. And every time he just kept going to the byline, which is where defenders want to show you. Always want to show you onto your weaker foot, onto your left foot. Trying to dig out across is the hardest thing to do. We didn't see him cut back enough, create that separation between him and the fullback. We know he's got that acceleration, that speed. He's probably the fastest player at the club right now. But we need to see that more often. And we did see it. I think the next thing is showing that clinical edge. Against Lyon, for example, Lyon, he frustrated a lot of people. He really polarized opinions on social media, like split right down the middle. I thought it was really good, but because he was wasteful, people were like, I can't do this. We need to get that clinical edge. We never had it last season, and that's ultimately why we didn't win the league. But if Martinelli can bring back the form, what we saw in front of goal in the 22-23 season, then we're going to be hitting gold, because 15 goals without no penalties. And he, at that point, was probably saying Martinelli's our best finisher at the club. Left foot, right foot, and headers we saw, but we haven't seen that for a long time. So if we can get Martinelli to do that, whether he starts this weekend for us, we'll obviously discuss that. But if he returns back to form, we've honestly gotten him like one of the best left wingers in the league at doing that, but he's not been at that level for a bit now. So yeah, it's all about all those answering those doubts.
But Tereak, do you reckon it's down to Martinelli's just his lack of decision? Do you think it's just down to him having poor decision making, when he's in the final third? Do you think that he just do you think he just overthinks things instead of just being so clinical, instead of just going for the shot, he just passes it instead of he can't make up his mind?
Yeah, it is a decision-making thing, because it's the thing with Arsenal fans. We watch Saka on the right, whose decision-making is almost perfect every single time. And it's crazy. He's been doing that since he was 17. Whereas Martinelli's a bit more of that raw, a street baller, doesn't always make the right decisions, gets into great positions a lot of the time, generates it for himself. But when he goes for the left foot shot, he should decide to pass. And when he passes, he should decide to shoot. We see that. And I think that why that's come on, Will, is he was a marked man last year. Our opposition knew Arsenal's threat was out wide. Remember in the beginning of the season when we was trying to do beginning of last season when we had Rice and Havertz in midfield and Ødegaard wasn't really finding his best form. We kept him high up the pitch, but now Ødegaard drops back a bit deeper, picking up the ball, doing his nice little shimmy, playing it through and helping us progress the ball from build up into the attacking third. Now, we struggled with that last season, and Martinelli was having, 2 players around him. The game that really showed that was the Newcastle, the 1-0 defeat. He was poor in that game, and so was Saka to an extent, but especially from Martinelli, you can't always have Saka being at his best and always relying on that because teams they triple up on Saka's side now, and when Martinelli's having to deal with that, you need to show the opposition a new face, something to show like what Saka's done season on season and what we saw on the weekend. He adds something new to his game each and every time. That cutting, bang, shooting. We've seen Saka do the curl to the far post. He added that a couple of seasons ago. And now he's got the one where I'll whip it in near post and see more power in his shots. And that's what he does on a consistent basis. And he gives opponents new questions, new things for them to think about. Martinelli needs to add that. And I saw that now. The cutback onto your stronger foot. I want him to do that more often because that right foot is his lethal part. I think overthinking it, as you said there, Will. Let me try and go on the outside to try and create that space. But he loves that byline running to the byline, trying to keep it in a tight area. Like remember those comps that we saw of him nutmegging Trent Alexander-Arnold in those positions. We need to see him show different faces to the opposition.
If you give Martinelli enough space, he can be very clinical. Like literally, like he's not afraid to make the shot. We've all have seen this before. For Martinelli, if he has like a bit of space before, we've seen this by like time and time again especially during that 22-23 season. Where if you give the guy like a bit of space, even like outside, like towards the edge of the of the box, man can shoot. The thing is, I feel like I don't know. I also want to think this is also a possible theory. Maybe like Arteta has been kind of toying with him just a bit, kind of like tweaking things also like up front. Yes, Saka's been more like he's giving him a little bit more like a free roam because he knows Saka can actually handle it. Maybe he's telling maybe he's giving Martinelli specific instructions. He's like, listen, if you're in there, I know what you can do with the ball in it, but maybe if you see someone open, just go for the pass. Don't just go for it. Just go for the pass. Just keep it. Stick to my philosophy. And that kind of like for me, that kind of restricts him. I don't know what you think, Tureece.
I just think it's a confidence thing, bro. Like, okay, cool. A game I always refer to is remember last season, Crystal Palace. He came on and he scored 2 goals. Remember, it was identical finishes. When he runs in behind and he passed it in bottom corner. I feel like he's still got that. It's a confidence thing, though. I feel like if he just gets one goal to his name and he pushes on, I feel like we're going to see the real Martinelli. And a lot, he was talking about how on Twitter that game against Lyon, how like it was 50-50, how fans was coming against him saying he's not clinical and all of that. People are forgetting the season this guy had 2 seasons ago, but that don't go away. So like that's why I feel like it's a confidence thing. You know what I mean? That does just not go away within the season. So that's why I think.
And he had the picked up those injuries as well, didn't he, Tureece? In terms of wasn't able to keep picking up form, have a run of games, consistency.
Exactly.
Do you remember when we was like winning games 6-0 and he was playing I know he didn't score too many, but he was starting those games and it was Trossard in the false 9. And then we had the Sheffield United away, picked up that big foot laceration, which put him out for a while. And then Trossard did so well, he couldn't get back into the team.
Yeah, literally.
Incredible form he was on. Like, seriously, man.
So I think those things, and then I think Tureece is bang on when he says about the loss of confidence is when your position's been taken over, you feel like you have to try extra hard, and you feel like because he now knows if he's not scored in 60 minutes, he's coming off. Trossard.
That substitution, it's like guaranteed when he's coming off 60, 70th minute for Trossard. It's just one of Arteta's main substitutions. He knows that as well. So that can have an effect on him too, you know what I mean?
Exactly, bro. I think he's spot on.
100%. But, Mandem, we take on Villa. We've been, like last season, they've done the quote-unquote double on us. We have not gotten a victory on them last season at all. And I'll be the one to tell you that because of that loss that we had last season at Villa Park, we weren't, at least in my opinion, I think we know where I think Tureece knows where I am going with this. We're not sitting here as champions, unfortunately. But that's in the past. But we do visit them at Villa Park this time around. Is revenge is definitely on our minds. The question I pose to you, first of all, Tureece, yeah, was one thing that we have learned from that game that can be adapted to this visit to Villa Park.
I'd say the highlight, like last time we played him, I remember we was getting caught offside so much times. I feel like we just need to time our runs so much better. And again, on Martinelli, I think he's going to be so pivotal in this game. The runs in behind he can make, I feel like that can damage their defense. But that's the one thing I'll take. That's the one thing that I'll learn from it. And we need to finish our chances as well, because last time we dominated the first half at home. Trossard, he had that beautiful chance. I don't know how he misses that when he's probably our best finisher right now, and then it costs us. So yeah, we need to finish our chances once we actually have the chance as well. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm with you on that. Like, if you look at the performances, we created enough. We did enough in home and away to win the game, or at least get a draw in the away game, and definitely take the first goal in a home one. We need to see that clinical edge. This is the fact that we didn't score in this game in both occasions says a lot. And we're a team that scored 91 goals last season. And when we came to Villa, you have to look at let's say the away game, the period that was coming in, hectic December period. Was this one that was just off the back of the Liverpool? No, it was like, I think we lost this one and then drew Liverpool or something, and then Brighton was in between that. So it was a hectic, busy period for us. And we already know our issue was rotating and not having the strength and depth required to rotate as much then, which I think we've built upon now. That was a tough period. Okay, losing that one in isolation is not so bad, and then losing the home one, that was the killer blow. And that's what I believe is the reason why we didn't win the league, more than not getting 3 points at Man City, which a lot of people do believe. But that one in that period where we drew to Bayern Munich in a big emotional game for us, that was our first Champions League quarterfinal in 14 years, something like that. I was still at school. When last time I was in a quarterfinal, forget school. I was in primary school, bro. I wasn't even in high school, primary. That's how long. Yeah, that's how long it was. So
what?
Yeah. I was in primary school. That's how long. So that obviously that took a lot from the fans, but as well as the players who was in their first experience of that together, and obviously to have a disappointing 2-2 draw in that one, you could kind of feel it towards the second half. That kind of took its toll on them physically. And then, of course, after that, we didn't really put up a great showing in the Allianz. And even in the Wolves game that we won, that was quite lethargic, and we kind of had to scrape for the win for that one there. So you can see that this one for Arsenal, there's a lot going on it in psychologically. For me as a fan, and you can probably tell from my accent, Tureece, and Will, you know this, living in and around the West Midlands as an Arsenal fan, I've lived around Wolverhampton, Birmingham, even Redditch, in different parts of the West Midlands, West Brom, everywhere. Aston Villa are the fans that I could not stand the most growing up as a kid through to school, with how arrogant they are. They try to chat to us because they got that European trophy back in 1982 or whatever, where most of these fans weren't even alive to see. They try and chat to us. They're rude. Talking about SmackDown, this is what I mean. I've got that edge. I'm ready for war in this one.
Yes, brother. Yes, bro. I hear that. Yeah.
Hey, any Villa fans watching, I hope you're not, because I don't want you to find me. So, but yeah, I don't like Villa at all, and now I don't like them even more.
No, I mean, listen, for me, I'll say this, right? This game is huge, obviously, because now that I think, for one, because of what happened last season, obviously, but more so to the fact that this is a true test of, for one, it's not so much on how we perform onto the pitch, but more so due to us mentally. You know what I mean? Because I think really our mental characteristics really needs to really be put to the test more so, because are the boys are really going to be prepared mentally to get into this game? Then they're going to be like, well, let's hope it's not going to be a repeat of last season. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that Arteta and the boys just be like, well, what happened last season was last season. We learned from it, and we just cook these lot. That's just the way it is. And that they want to be champions, they have to win. That's just what it is. They have to make a statement. And that's what the feeling they have to go into to these sort of games, because this is just the beginning. After the international break, I believe is Tereak, I think we take on Spurs and we take on Manchester City. So we have bigger matches. Imagine. And we also play in Champions League. So it's
true.
There's a lot of tougher fixtures ahead of us, and so we have to get prepared for it. And
it's mad to say it as well, Will. Well, in game week 2, we're saying a must win.
I believe so. Listen, this is a must win, in my opinion.
I agree.
Well, to be fair, that the most Premier League games are honestly must wins these days. That's the way the Prem is moving. But I'm sorry.
Let me add on to that point about the psychological point. Has Arteta ever beaten Emery? I don't think he has. Because even remember the Europa League semi-final, he lost that.
Emery's got a very good record, Tureece, but we beat, remember the 4-2, the last minute one?
Jorginho, you're right. Emery, was that Emery? That wasn't Emery.
That was that was the first time he played Villa.
Okay.
That's probably one win, bro. Actually, one win.
Yeah. So listen, I feel like the boys need, and because of what happened last season, I feel like they need to just clear their heads, remember what they did to us last season, remember that pain, and say we're not going through this again, and we need to smoke these, man. Yeah, that's the mentality that I want. And was you guys impressed with how they performed against West Ham? If you saw the game, because
first half, I thought they were,
and I thought after the first goal, West Ham dominated. Not even just first half. After the first goal, I feel like they fell off. So and Watkins, he even ready. I feel like we can get at this team, man. Honestly, that's what I think.
It was a bit of like a hit and miss for me, because I think sort of what Tereak's saying. I think the first half they were actually okay, but yeah, they did kind of drop off a bit in the second half. But I think for me, it's not the same. What I'm really kind of concerned, I look at Aston Villa, right? I think it's just more so that midfield, because it's not the same midfield that what it was with whatchamacallit, Douglas Luiz, and then you have Diaby there. Now you brought in Onana from Everton, and I think from what Villa fans they're thinking is that Onana is going to be just like this ball carrying midfielder, but he's just going to do just one thing. That's really in his pocket. That's it. That's in his belt, and that's just going to be a quote unquote destroyer. It's just going to just do slide tackles, defend the fort, do an occasional pass here and there, but he's not going to go forward or do anything progressive with the ball. And I think
that's his best part. He's definitely destroying, and he's very athletic as well. Covers a lot of ground, and he's big. Obviously, he has a big frame, so it's hard to kind of get around. That matchup against him and Rice is going to be key, man.
Do you lot remember Sean Dyche's first game when we played Everton and we lost to them? He played well in that game. I can't lie. He was
man of the match performance.
Yeah. So he looks like he likes to turn up against Arsenal, so we got to watch out. That midfield battle is going to be good for me.
Absolutely, bro. Yeah, I think there's always been rumours about him being linked with Arsenal in it as well, so he probably wants to kind of show something that, because Arsenal, we've always been in and around him, and his agent's always been talking about Arsenal, and he's probably like, you know what? I've moved to Villa. Let me show you why you should have really forget Mikel Merino. You should have got me, and I'll show you why. So yeah, it's going to be a big one tomorrow, and that including his first home game with a Villa crowd, and you know how he likes to rile up the atmosphere like he was doing against us at Goodison. Villa's this mad stadium like that would have got a great atmosphere. And
now Villa Park is going to be rocking though tomorrow. There's one thing it's going to be rocking. But there was a question put in by the Match Kushner, and that's actually, funny enough, is also on the agenda.
Is that what you have as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
What do you guys think of the AFTV debate between Unai Emery versus
That's not a
Mikel
question.
Arteta?
That's not a question. Surely that's not a question. We saw both at our club and look how that turned out. Please.
So it's crazy though, Tureece, because is this kind of like revisionism for Unai over at Arsenal? Like, this whole debate just stems up out of nowhere, really. I want to get you guys' take on this, because is Unai Emery, I guess, the better manager to like Arteta? Is this waffle? Tureece, like, what do you make of this whole
no
deal?
chance. I think we spoke about it last video. Listen, I've seen Emery at Arsenal. The guy was paid Torreira at camp. That's all I need to know. You know what I mean? He was here at Arsenal. He got a couple of signings. He had Nicolas Pepe. He was not looking great. We played Watford. Yeah, the team that got relegated. And they had 31 shots that game. You know what I mean? I've seen him at our club. He's not good enough. Yes, he's done good at Aston Villa, but that's his team. I feel like Arsenal was just too much pressure for him, and you know what I mean. And the style of play we want to play as well. He doesn't suit us. But do I think he's a great manager? No. No.
I hear what you're saying, Tureece, and I agree, actually. I don't think he's a better manager than Arteta. Has he achieved more? Yes, but mainly because he's been managing a lot longer. If you looked at what Unai Emery is doing in his first 5 years of coaching, I couldn't even tell you where he was. I'm sure he was managing a relegation side. He's a decent manager, and I think, as Santi points out, for Europa Leagues, though, again, done a great job at that level of club. A Villa, a Sevilla, Villarreal, those are the clubs that he's great at. Forget Arsenal, PSG. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, exactly, literally.
And that's a PSG team that are built for the year-on-year success in League at the very least. But he couldn't take them into the Champions League. And then I think what was the next manager was Thomas Tuchel. I know they've never won it, but taking them to a Champions League final and improving on that. I just think that he's not built for the elite level, whereas Arteta is.
Yeah.
Although he hasn't got much to show for it right now, I think, again, this is where it kind of comes into it. Like, you have to look at what he's done at that level of club. Forget Arsenal, forget that. PSG as well. Big factor to look at with that. I'd also say the style of football, we saw it. Tureece said it. 31 shots at Watford. He can be quite pragmatic in a way when he's facing teams, in the fact that he won't. Where Arteta slightly adjusts things in terms of how we play against teams, but it doesn't mean that he's still not being the aggressor in that. Unai Emery will go to a next team that's in good form and play 5 at the back, or completely change his way because of them. And I don't think that's what the elite managers do, unless a Carlo Ancelotti, how he would do it is different. Like when he went to Man City and said, I'm going to attack down that right. But again, it's still looking to try and cause problems there. Whereas Unai Emery, he's a bit of a pragmatic manager first. Yes, he's achieved a lot in those circumstances, but I think that's his level. This is where he thrives. Put him in a top club, don't think it works out.
100%.
If I may try to be devil's advocate for Unai Emery, now I think you can say that yes. I mean, he has yes, he can be complacent, pragmatic, sure, but can we agree that he has had more experience compared to Mikel, and he has achieved more because of that experience. After all, I mean, he has won multiple European trophies with Sevilla as well as Villarreal. But having said that, we can agree that yes, he has achieved more, but in terms of being the better tactician, the better, I guess being the better coach, you can definitely say Arteta is better. Can we agree to that?
Yeah.
Even
management, everything.
That's what I was going to say, but exactly what I was saying, Tureece, is the man management in terms of how look at the state of the club and look at how he was able to transform that. And Arteta didn't come into a better situation than Unai Emery. He came into arguably worse in terms of the players leaving, COVID, a lot harder to get players out. We're having to pay players off, convincing a lot of our best players to stay. Erdegaard, who came out on loan, convincing him that this was the right project for him. Look at all the signings that we laud right now. That's Arteta's work. Declan Rice, if we all the players that we're keeping right now, and how long has that been a problem at Arsenal, Mandem? Keeping our best players, signing them down to new contracts. Saka, Saliba, and remember, people thought that exactly, and people thought that Arteta hated Saliba once upon a time. That was a consensus going around there.
It was a weird conspiracy theory. Oh no, why keep on constantly loaning him now? And like, brother, no, guy does not. Bro, he is not. Bro does not hate players. I will say, loaning players for the third and fourth time. You know what I mean? Like say, Sambi Lakonga or Nuno, Tavares. I think it's kind of mad, and it just kind of cut your losses because those guys are not going to be.
But no one wants to buy them. That's why no one's bidding. No one's bidding.
Bro, just rip up their contract, man. Just do something with them. You know what I mean, man? Send them to MLS, bro. We'll do something with it. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. But
wait, one more thing. The one more thing about Arteta is you look at the players that's recently signed. Yeah, all of them come because of Arteta. Marino, he's been saying, remember, Barcelona wanted him, other clubs wanted him, but he wanted Arsenal because of Mikel Arteta. Calafiori, other clubs were in for him, but he wanted Arsenal because of Mikel Arteta. Declan Rice, we was challenging Man City for him, but he wanted to come because of Mikel Arteta. He has the X factor. I don't know what he says to the players, but it's clearly working. You know what I mean? So yeah,
I hear that. And I kind of feel like with Unai Emery, when I think towards the latter stages of his reign at Arsenal, you can tell that his game plan it was so easy to read from the opposition's perspective, and we were just ran through pause. So it was done. The hierarchies didn't they were just so alpha and omega, and of course because Monchi, who was I think the sporting director at Sevilla, he's at Villa, so obviously those two work well together, and you can see that that relationship and that success will work over at Aston Villa. So it makes sense, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
What was I going to say here? So we discussed what we could have learned and what I've adapted from our previous matches against Villa. There's a whole Unai and Arteta. It's kind of like a bit of waffle, I guess you can say. Now we must dig deep into a bit of perversion here. We got this lineup building, fam. You know what I mean? It's my favorite part of doing previews. People, what we about to do is no, that's not what I'm doing. No, stop. Okay, good. Jesus. Technical difficulty here. All right. Here we go. We're gonna build this lineup from the ground up. So yeah.
You've got very
obviously.
Ooh, I was thinking of changing the goalkeeper.
No. What, you're gonna put in the new one that we got in from whatchamacallit, from
Espanyol. 3 keepers this summer, I swear.
Yeah. If we haven't got that Juan Garcia yet, but that's obviously depending on if Ramsdale leaves.
He's gone.
Have you guys seen him play? I've never seen. Is he like? If you guys,
you know what, Tureece? I actually watched him the other day against Real Valladolid. Bro, don't ask me why I was watching Real Valladolid against Espanyol.
Why were you watching it though?
I'll give a quick explanation. I was watching the night before. It was Real Madrid versus Mallorca, on Premier Sports. And I turned on the TV at like 6 o'clock the next day, and it was left on there. And I saw, Carl Hines in goal. So I thought, let me watch the last 20 minutes. And Joan Garcia was decent, man. I think he made a couple of saves because Valladolid won 1-0, but they was having plenty of chance on the counter attack. and he was there making good stops and claiming crosses. Man, he's a decent keeper.
As long as we have rotation.
I don't think he'll
Ramsdale,
rotate. He'll always be a backup because he's quite young as well. But I think he'll be happier being a backup than Ramsdale is.
Is he tall? Is he a tall keeper?
He's taller than Raya, yeah, about 6'2".
Cool.
He's not massive, but
like Ramsdale's height, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe a little bit smaller than Ramsdale, but taller than Raya. Raya's only 6 foot.
He's 6'3".
Oh, is he? So yeah. Ramsdale's height because Ramsdale's 6'3", isn't it? So
yeah. But still, listen, as long as we have a proper backup, we can play the occasional game here and there.
He's
and
actually better than Raya collecting crosses.
Remember Runnison?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bro, I'm trying to talk about the good times, Tureece. Not now. Don't take me back.
But brother, look, we've had like bad times though for like the past few seasons, fam. Except, obviously from like 2022 onward. But brother, it's been peak, fam. Come on.
Even Matt Turner. You've seen on that side.
Listen, look. No American will get cooked. Even Matt Turner, yeah. Allow it, bro. Allow my fellow Yank in it, man. Listen, Arteta doesn't like Americans, man. This is what it is, yeah.
Oh man.
But now, let's just begin. David Wright obviously is going to be the standard goalkeeper. There's no question of that. Tureece, from the last build-up that we did, right? We said Zinchenko was going to start. Do you reckon that's going to continue?
I would like to see Timber because what I saw against Wolves when he came on, it impressed me, boy. You see when we took a short corner, and it was him against 3 man, and he weaved himself through all of them, and we nearly scored from him because he nearly passed it, but he got intercepted. But what I saw from him that game, and we need that against Aston Villa for me, and his defensive security because deep it, they've got Leon Bailey versus Zinchenko. We know how that's going to end, bro. It's only going to end one way. Zinchenko gets ripped. They score from that side. So I need that defensive security. I'm going to go Timber. And I think Arteta will look at it that way as well.
Mm-hmm. Tereak, what are you saying?
You're at left back, is that what you're saying, Tureece?
Yeah.
This is where I'm probably leaning towards Zinchenko now, and it sounds mad.
Come on, man. Bailey.
Now,
you see, this is why he needs to be simping, You see, that new fade is making man move mad, I'm telling you.
I know it does sound mad, and I hear it. And you're right, Tureece. My concern is Bailey, but the reason I say that, I can't see Timber starting without. I know he started games in pre-season at centre back, but if you listen to Arteta in his post-match press conferences, asking why he started at centre back rather than at full back, he said because he's trying to build his minutes up. And today he said, I'm going to carefully manage in Timber. That's how I'm going to do it, and I think that's what he's going to do, man. And because Calafiori hasn't played yet, I don't think he's going to throw him. This should be a Calafiori game, to be honest.
Yeah,
if he was ready, bit sharp, this would be Calafiori because a natural left-footed. That's it. I mean, Arteta kind of wants that. I know that balance, left foot, left side in the defense. But I think for now he's going to start Zinchenko, and although it gives us trouble, of course, against Leon Bailey, however, in possession, I actually thought it was quite good against Villa in both times.
Yeah. It was, but man, I don't want to sit here at the end of the game blaming him. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So
if Timber starts, I'm not going to moan. I'm going to be happy. I'll actually feel like you two. So I'm like, yeah, right decision. He's safer. Might not be as good as Zinchenko at the passing, but he's still very at a top level. Still very good at that, and he's better defensively. But yeah, I just think he'll go for the same. Like they've got minutes in their legs. He's played most of the games in pre-season. Zinchenko. He's sharper at the moment. I think he might go for that.
It's the way. Listen, we all know how this brother moves, and he has his favorites. Yeah. Like Teta, he really does have his favorites, and I have a good feeling that he's going to start Zinchenko. Really does.
One more opportunity.
He really, yeah. You know where I'm going. You know where I'm going with this T. Yeah, because he's gonna give him more chances. He really will be. Like this guy, I mean, like I don't think Calafiori, even though this is a game that I would love to see Calafiori play, he's just not gonna get that opportunity to really start. Maybe maybe like he might get substituted. I wouldn't rule that out, but I don't think he will start. And I think Timber is actually a good shot. I think defensively, he's obviously the better between him and Zinchenko. But I think with what Teta wants to do is just he just needs to be more attacking minded. So I think, and then also with the likes of consistency too, I think he's probably gonna go with Zinchenko because I know how Lego Man's gonna be going. So for me, I'm probably gonna say Zinchenko too. So I think that seems to be the move.
Hey, Tureece is stressed.
Bro, listen. Both of their games, all of the goals came from their right hand side, did it not?
Yeah.
Don't you think Arteta's gonna look at that and say, Zinchenko?
But you also have to know this though, Tureece, that we're talking about Arteta, all right? Like you know how many times that we have told man to switch up our strikers. A man insists to keep Kai Havertz up top, bro. The only time he has changed Kai Havertz so far, was to be put into midfield, and that was during preseason.
Do you know another thing that I think Arteta really likes about Zinchenko is he's always brave on the ball, even when he's stupid with it. He's brave. He never hides in that personality. I don't think that.
He's very good on the ball.
Timber's fit and ready. I would actually go for Timber, but I don't think he is going to be as sharp. And throwing him into his first Premier League start away at Aston Villa in a game against Leon Bailey, take him left and right. I don't know if that's what he wants to do. I think he'll bring him on because we know with Zinchenko, and I think the mistake that he made last season, Tureece, is he played him for too long in those games.
In the big games as well.
60 minutes, 60, 65 minutes, get him off because that's when because he wasn't actually that bad against Aston Villa, but as soon as that's until the 67th, 70th minute, that's when he does stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember when he had a mad drop off on when which you saw over Twitter, where the defensive line is about 2 yards in front of him, and he's dropping off, trying to mark off the space, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?" That's what happens when he gets fatigued. We saw it against 2 seasons ago when Trent nutmegged him and dinked it to the back post. We've seen it against even again Villa when he's missing from left back position because he goes wandering and he starts making stupid mistakes, like Liverpool as well. Liverpool away, he was good up until he gave it away and we slipped, got an Erdegaard's way, and then they had that 4-on-1 opportunity against Rice. He has his bozo moments. That's what Zinchenko does. But 60th minute, get Timber on. Hopefully we're winning the game by then.
Yeah.
And then Timber locks up or Calafiori.
So you would bring on Timber instead of Calafiori 60th minute then?
Yeah, in this
I
game.
would bring on Calafiori personally. Because I think Calafiori will I think Timber personally I think Calafiori will probably offer a bit more defensively compared to Timber. And also I think he might get some more. I think Arteta will slowly give him more minutes into the Premier League. Personally,
yeah. It'd be big if he throws him into that scenario, into that type of first Premier League game. But again, the games don't get easier from here, do they? So
yeah, exactly. So when do you throw
because if you really think about it, like where would he play?
Where do you throw it in? Like North London derby, you got Man City. Where do you actually put him in?
It's a good point.
It's true. That's what I'm saying. Like where will the guy actually play at some point? Because we have some crazy fixtures ahead of us. So Zenny starts.
Yeah.
Then we have the usual
I
two.
agree with you guys. He is probably going to start, but
listen, I'll tell you this: if he plays, I'm saying if he plays tomorrow, if Timber starts tomorrow, next week, when we do a preview, you can cook, bro. Like I'm telling you, you can cook, bro. I'm telling you. You you can have a crown and everything, blood. I'm telling you this right now.
But obviously, if we start and win, of course.
Only if he starts.
I'd be happy if you. I want you to cook me because I think I prefer Timber starting. I feel safer, but I kind of get the value as Zinchenko as well. But I don't feel as safe as with him defensively.
Wait, another thing. Have we ever watched the Zinchenko game where he was very good defensively, solid, looked up the winger? Have we ever seen that?
Has it been time though? It's been time since we've seen them. We'll kind of praise him for his defensive efforts.
But I don't really think so. But he was good against Liverpool for 45 minutes. And do you remember the home game we won? They didn't do anything down that side. He was very good then, but they didn't have Salah. So I don't know. Nah, that's just not his game, is it? He's not brought in for that. That's where Gabriel defends a lot wider.
What are we saying for left back?
Right back.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Right back.
I think that's got Ben White all over it.
Yeah.
So Benny Blanco, what are we playing there?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Do you know what's going to be interesting? The midfield. Now.
It's Benjamin. You need to put Benjamin. That's it.
Not this, bro. This happened to me. Last week, right? No. Midfield, yeah. That's when things get dicey, right, Mandem? What we got?
Okay. Who's starting Partey or who's starting Rice at the 6?
I'm starting Rice at 6.
So am I.
I'm thinking. I wonder if we got the same reasoning because
I think we do.
Villa like to play out the back a lot, and when we press them, it leaves a lot of space in the midfield. And I do not want to see this version of Thomas Partey covering a lot of space. Rice at the base when they've got the likes of Morgan Rogers, they've got the likes of Ollie Watkins, John McGinn running in and around there. They're relentless runners, and they've got a bit of speed about them as well. Now, I do not want Partey up against them. So Rice in there, and then when we can play, and then the left 8 again, that's going to be interesting. Who are we starting there? Because mine might be a little bit different, but maybe. What have you got any other reasons why you're starting Rice at 6, Tureece?
My reason is because who I'm starting at left and the mid.
Oh,
that's why.
Are we doing the same thing?
I think we might. I think we may be doing the same thing. I think we might.
Okay.
So what were you saying?
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. I was gonna say Partey, but
why?
Well, so the reason why is because I think it's just down to Arteta's consistency, fam. Because I just don't see Arteta really changing much from the Wolves game. Because while yes, I think it's gonna be a tough task for Partey to really handle that midfield against Villa. He does have Declan Rice there as well. Do you know what I mean? So I think those two can be enough, or maybe they can switch it around. Maybe perhaps put Rice at the 6 and maybe put Partey as an 8. I don't know, but I think. But for me, I think that's probably what I see. It's going to be the same thing that I saw, the same midfield.
All right, I think he will start Partey, but what I want is for Rice to start 6. That's what I'm saying. I think he will start Partey.
I don't think he will.
Is it?
I feel like he might not start Partey for this one because if you remember, and maybe because Partey wasn't fit yet, but when we did play Aston Villa, he changed it because that was at that point we was doing a Jorginho Rice midfield.
Yeah.
And then when we played Villa, he changed it and went back to Rice, and then that certain someone played at left centre mid and did a good job but didn't score. And is Tureece? Is that who you go for?
Yes.
That's same.
Great man shaking leg. Great man shaking leg.
Will shaking his head. He's like, no, not this. Kai Havertz.
Yes, man. He done well in pre-season there.
Yeah, against Leverkusen, bro.
2 assists, 1 goal.
He did. But
And what I've seen in preseason as well, you see when he did start centre mid, it's the late runs he does, and I feel like with their high line, he can catch them out with that. He's fast as well. He don't look fast, but he is fast. I feel like we could use that. Honestly,
He had 2 chances in the home game. He should have buried.
Mm.
He should have buried.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
got
yeah.
into great positions, and that's why Tureece. That's why I've started Zinchenko, because Zinchenko picked them twice. Those passes
Yeah.
into that, and I think because if we're starting Rice at the base, I think you need someone next to him who's going to be like, I'm going to be the ball progressor. I'm going to be someone, give me the ball in this first bit of phase instead of always relying on Erdegaard to keep dropping him.
Yeah.
So we have that, and then Rice can just be what he does best. Like he's not as bad as what people say. He's in possession. Like I think it really annoyed me.
It was just the England tournament. It was just the England tournament.
He's not as bad, but that's not his best part. Like, he's not going to be a Pirlo or a Jorginho in that sense, because that's just not what he is. But he's still better at it, like than most players out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people just looked at the price tag and said you should be a better passer as a midfielder for that. I think that's what people are saying.
You want everything with 100 million, don't they?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's unrealistic. But we've gone for Havertz.
Yeah, man.
In midfield.
What are you saying?
I can't get behind that, man. You man are moving mad, fam. No. You guys are sniffing crack, fam. I can't do that, bro. No. No, I'm kidding. Nah, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, I can't. I just don't. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess for me, it's just like, isn't that the point of Havertz playing as a false nine? Because I feel like he drops in deep anyway. So I don't know why would just he be playing at left center?
Because I don't think Rice is going to do what Havertz does in terms of the late runs, like that. Rice's first thought is when he does play in the left centre mid, he only makes that run when we've got the ball on the right. So when Erdegaard or Saka have got it, that goal against Brentford where Ben White made the cross and headed it in, or even against Luton. But that was kind of last minute, so it was kind of like a set piece. But his first thought is to connect. I'm going to try and connect with the left winger, whether it's a Martinelli or a Trossard, rather than I'm going to try and make that darting running behind off the blind side of the midfielder, and then he's through 1v1. So that's why Havertz in midfield. And then, of course, we've probably got the same striker there.
Yeah, we do. I think we do as well, yeah. But I literally got to say that's the same reason. I was about to say Declan Rice is the midfielder that wants to be involved in the play that builds up the goal. Havertz, he's not really involved in that. He's the one that's going to make the run inside the box, like a late decoy run. And listen, him in the air, him running late in the box, he's lethal. I'm not going to lie. So yeah.
Hey, swap. You know me, my OCD. Sorry, Will. Swap them around.
Can I just?
Yeah. Hey,
why? I'm not even typing anything, brother. Look, I'm just still baffled by this, fam. I'm baffled.
You don't see the reasoning.
I always have to get him to do this, man. Like, make sure they're in the right positions. There we go. That's better.
All right. Well, I think we're all in agreement. If this were to happen, Jesus will have to start up front then.
Yep. Yeah. And he had a good preseason for me. He looks sharp. He looks back.
He does look. I think he looks better. Yeah. I think he looks a lot more sharp than what we've seen before.
And that goal against Bayer Leverkusen. Listen, I just feel like give him a couple of runner games. I feel like we can get him back to that form. He's just been the guy that comes off the bench, and that's not him. He's a starter.
Trust me. He is.
Question: is Jorginho fit?
He's fit.
Yeah.
He's on the bench.
Yeah, he's fit.
Would you mind make a case by putting Jorginho at starting DM?
Sorry.
Can you make? No, hear me out. Let me land. At starting DM, you shift Declan Rice to to play as your 8, and then you have Odegaard be your attacking midfielder. That way you can have Kai Havertz play as your leading striker. Because my thing is he's gonna be dropping deep anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to allow Saka and whoever we have at left wing to really, who's going to be really attacking anyway.
Do you know what? I can make a case, and do you know what the case will be? I wouldn't do it, but again, I wouldn't be shocked if he did do it. If you're playing Yuri and Timber at left back, Tureece, I think Jorginho would be a good one because, of course, we've got a back four of pure athletes. Then Timber, Gabriel Saliba, Ben White, and then in front you've got Jorginho, and then I know it's going back a couple of years ago, but do you remember that Newcastle game? And bearing in mind, this was Newcastle when they were in their prime. Like this was when they qualified for the Champions League. Jorginho came in physical in that atmosphere against a physical midfield. Joe Linton, Bruno, and then Willock at that time. They were runners, athletes. He can do that. He brings that calm. Yeah, he can play the ball through. He can give us that progression. If you take Zinchenko out and bring Jorginho in, we've got that. Like when Kivior wasn't even a good fit. He was putting a square peg in a round hole, but Jorginho covered for that because in possession he was still so strong towards the end of last season. So if Timber's starting, I wouldn't play Partey. I'd play Jorginho, and that's where I think Jorginho's experience in these games. And he's done it. He scored the winning goal the last time he won there.
Oh, yeah. That's his only goal for Arsenal as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he scored a penalty in the Champions League against Lens. When we won 6-0, so you might not remember it. Yeah.
No, I don't remember that one, but yeah.
I don't know why I'm remembering penalties like Fabio Vieira earlier on in mad wins.
Fabio Vieira going to Porto. Imagine that, on loan in Mandem. Craziness.
Good move.
Very good move, I would say.
I feel but I just feel like he needs he should have went to a Premier League team. And listen, he's going to where he came from. Is that really going to improve him? I don't think so. I feel like he needs a season in EFL Championship or the Premier League, a physical league. I feel like that's what he needs, not a league where he came from. That's just me.
I think that's a fair point.
As long as he gets minutes. As long as he gets some minutes.
I don't think it's the minute. I don't think it's the minutes. I don't think it's the minute. Well, it is. Yeah. But I want him to be in the physical league and get used to it week in, week out. That's what I want.
I think ideally, if he was doing that and playing week in, week out, then that would be much better.
Yeah.
That would be much better.
When he initially came from Porto to us, he was a regular. He was regularly playing at Porto. So him going back there on loan, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts playing a lot more regularly there. So if he were to come back towards the end of that loan, a more sharper, come on, yeah. I think this works out better for him.
Because when we bought him as well, Tureece, he didn't actually play. That was his first season, and he didn't play many games, so he's not actually that experienced for someone of his age. So I think that's a big reason. Go somewhere where he already knows, he doesn't need to settle and adapt. That's his place. That's his home. That's where he came through, and they will play him because they're selling Francisco Conceição, aren't they? Yeah. The right winger to Juventus. Yeah. That's the reason why it's happening.
Good signing from them.
Yeah. So he's just getting him minutes mainly. But again, I think if we could guarantee him minutes in the Premier League, that would be the better option, 100%. Because that's what he's going to be used to in those opponents and that sort of intensity and physicality. So I hear your point, Tureece.
But okay, one more thing as well. Then okay, cool. He does well in that loan. He comes back. Does that even mean anything? Ethan, he's gonna be. We're hoping for it to be his breakout season. Is there gonna be a space for him in the team even when he comes back?
Well, let me counter that with this question: would you rather want him to not give game time onto the team right now, or would you want him to get some more regular game time for him to be sharp and have him be more better and have him make his attributes more get more experience and get more get more sharpened, I guess you can say, for lack of a better term, and be able to get into the first team next season?
Of course, I'd rather him get the minutes, but is he going to break in the first team? My thing is, I feel like it's just a pointless signing. I feel like we're going to cash in soon and we're not going to get back the money we pay for him. So why do we actually buy him? That's just my point. I don't think he ever becomes a star for Arsenal and we don't get the money back.
maybe Tureece. What happens is next season, Jorginho and Partey leave. Rice goes back as the 6, and that leaves open another position in midfield. Because I think Rice is still going to play a lot of minutes in the 8 this year because we've got Jorginho and Partey in it. So like we're still going to have to use them at some sorts. Maybe we might sign one more defensive midfielder, but I don't think we'll sign 2 to cover Partey and Jorginho. So we'll have Rice and I don't know, a Zubimendi or a Bruno Guimaraes next year, and then then they can interchange, but there's more opportunity for him then. Whereas now, because we've got Jorginho, Partey, Rice, Marino, Erdegaard,
it's just not enough space. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Whereas he could be that 6th guy in midfield, and we will have obviously a lot more games as well. We're gonna have more games next season by the looks of it too. So.
Well, no, that's a fair point. If we don't really look for like a replacement for Partey and Jorginho, we maybe only bring in one. Then I mean, fair enough. There may be something that's for him, but
And also, if I may also add, I think this also offers up an opportunity for the likes of Ethan Nwaneri to also get some game time as well. And I would just like the way that kid was killing it in preseason. I mean, it will be such a pleasure to see him, get more game time this season. So,
and there's no guarantee that he will come in, impress, and be like first team ready next season. So we might have to give him a few minutes and then loan him next season so he gets consistency. Maybe that's only obviously a hypothetical. I don't think so. I don't think that will happen, but it's a possibility, isn't it?
He looks ready though. I can't lie. I feel like that's a 1% chance. I feel like he looks ready. He's physically imposing for his age. He's 17. He's my age. You know what I mean? And he can hold his own out there on the pitch. So I feel like he can do business.
He's mad, bro.
I hear it. But man, then we have one more position left, and then we'll get to predictions and we will wrap up. But let's get to this last position in there. And that's left wing. It's always the polarizing position for Arsenal.
Can I say something?
Of course, go for it, man.
I don't like Trossard against high lines. Simple. I just don't. I feel like he's better suited to the games where the teams are what's it called? Like they've got 10 man defending in the box. I feel like that's his type of games. Not when it's a high line and there's space to run them behind. He's just not got the pace for it. That's why.
I hear it, but then I would say, I know it's only pre-season, but Leverkusen, they play a high line. He was very good in that game. Let me try and think of a competitive match where that happened.
But my argument is, how many times have you seen this guy running behind? I think it happened in Bayern Munich game, and he just like the defenders catch up to him, bro. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have that raw pace. And Martinelli, he's got that in abundance. So that's what I'm saying. It's not that he's not bad against the high lines, but he's he's competing with Martinelli, who that's his game. That's what his game is.
But it kind of goes back to what we were saying though, Tureece, is that with Martinelli is just down to it's just there's like a big question mark in terms of his like decision making when he's in the final third. And I think this is, you know what, I will say this though. I think this game would be a good test for Martinelli, because if he were to start, I will agree with Tureece that I think his pace when it comes to the high line would be crazy. I think it would be difficult for for Villa to for them to really like close down, and he will be giving them like that back line a bunch of problems. And I'm hoping if he were to start, it'll give him like that bit of a confidence boost that would really
need. I just think one goal. I feel like once he grabs that goal, he's gonna fly. That's just
100%.
100%. I agree with you. I got you.
In pre-season, he actually impressed me. Look at the Man U game. You see when he came on, that goal was brilliant. I was looking at him in pre-season and saying, you know what, I feel like you're actually going to kick on. But then the Lyon game where he missed a couple of chances, people again was kind of getting on his back. But I just think that one goal will push him on.
I'm with Tureece here, man. I'm with Martinelli on the left, although Trossard again. Yeah, my only concern is now, Tureece, is what his starting 11? Who comes off the bench if things aren't going right?
But I'd rather Trossard come off the bench than Martinelli. Listen to me, when Trossard comes off the bench, he's going to contribute. That's why I'd rather him come off the bench, even if he may be better.
True. I think he's better coming off the bench than Martinelli. or like he's done more off the bench than Martinelli. I know Martinelli's done it against Crystal Palace when he scored them 2 goals, but it's not just, and he's done it against Man City too. I remember that. But Trossard off the bench.
It's inevitable. It's inevitable with him.
Question: do you reckon? Like, do you kind of foresee maybe a potential front three of Saka, Martinelli, and Trossard starting tomorrow?
I don't think that.
You don't think so?
Actually, no, wait. Wolves game, Trossard came on before Jesus. That may mean something. I was surprised. I feel like Jesus should be above the pecking order. You know what I mean? He should come on before, but Trossard came on before him.
You know what? I never thought of it until now, Will. I never thought of it until now. But do you remember when I was just... And it's mad because I mentioned when we was winning 6-0 on that. That was the front three we started with. That was Trossard when we was away at West Ham, away against Burnley, away against Sheffield United and that. Well, no, it wasn't Sheffield. Was it Sheffield? Did he start? I don't think so. I think...
he did. When we was banging goals, it was him. I actually think that's Trossard's best position for me. That false nine. I like him best there.
Because he's got a good relationship with Havertz.
Yeah.
Him and Havertz connect.
They just interchange. That's it. When Havertz is making them runs, Trossard will drop in. And
So Will, I think if that starts, if he starts that, because it's not something I've thought about, and I don't think many fans have thought about it either. Brother, you deserve your flowers next week. Yeah. You get the final decision for next week. I'm telling you on your old channel. Any position for next week if that one starts.
Also,
during the me and Tureece agree, you go with it.
Yeah.
Your decision.
I think so. I did my due diligence, and I did see that actually Kai Havertz started it from the Sheffield game.
Oh, was it?
So
I thought so.
Yeah,
but it was in that period anyway. But I know Trossard started a lot of games up top.
Burnley, he started as well at Burnley as well.
Burnley, West Ham, Burnley. There's another one, man. Can't remember. Yeah.
But I think for this sake, because I am on a bit of a time constraint, I will say, I think I wouldn't be surprised if he would go with Martinelli strictly due to the fact that they do play a high line. And yes, Trossard doesn't have the pace, but he does have the clinical ability. However, because Martinelli does have the pace, it's going to pose a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to always be good for our advantage. And also knowing Arteta, he wants to give the kid a bit of a confidence boost, give the kid a chance. And if he scores, it's going to mean the world to him.
Yeah.
It's only going to start more and more and more. So I think we can agree that Martinelli should get the nod on the left. Let's see.
Are you happy with his team, Mandem?
I'm confident. With this team, I'd be confident. This is the team I want to see. It just bars.
I don't know about that midfield,
but apart from that, this is the team I want to see. But Will, you don't seem happy.
It's just that midfield, fam.
That's a good midfield.
It's just I'm not convinced with Havertz.
If you start Zinchenko, I feel like him and Havertz, they work together.
I hear it, but I don't. It's just okay. I'm just not as convinced. I feel like when Havertz is in midfield, and then there were certain times, especially during that Leverkusen game, where I kind of feel like when he is in, like when he's playing midfield, he's just sort of isolated. And I think you don't get the most out of him when he's in that midfield. I guess. No, go ahead, T. Go ahead.
No, carry on. Sorry, I'll say after.
No, what I was going to say was that when he's playing at a false nine, I think you get he's able to be more free, be able to create more, and I guess he feels a lot more comfortable being in that sort of position rather than being as like an all-out midfielder.
Let's see. I think in the majority of his time at Arsenal, I'd agree. But the second half of the season, he looks so much better and so much more comfortable in the team. I think the first half, while we saw those midfield issues, was because he was so lack of confidence, so nervous, didn't have any relationships with any of the players around him, and you could see he did look a little bit, Like it was hard at times. I thought it was very good defensively, but going forward, it was hard. So,
That was the
but
thing
now
that was
he's got
annoying me
them
though.
relationships built. He knows his timings. When Martinelli does this, it's like it's mad because we don't kind of think about this. Sometimes we get like we kind of get like FIFA'd in this case where we kind of think everything should work straight away. But
Yes,
knowing when to knowing what Martinelli's going to do when his body shapes like this. Do you know what I mean? Like when he's running down the line, what does Martinelli tend to do? He's going byline, so I'm going back post. Or if he's facing the opposition, I'm going to make that run so that because he likes to make that pass. Do you know what I mean? Those types of things, those little things that we kind of forget. And now he's built that relationship. And against Villa, we was very good. I promise you in that first half. It was the second half we dropped off. But I think that's more to do with a lack of energy. Whereas now, because obviously it's the beginning of the season, we've already got 90 minutes under our belt. I think we're going to be ready to do this for the full course of the game now.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got stronger depth on the bench.
I'm trusting you.
Though? If we start this lineup, who is on our bench apart from Trossard?
What attackers? But okay, we've got Thomas Partey. We never had him last year.
Yeah,
Thomas Partey, Yuri and Timber. That helps. Calafiori. I know we're not all attacking players. Nwaneri. If I know it's a risk, but you could.
I mean, if he's my whole thing is if he's fit enough and good enough to be like playing in preseason, let him be on the on the bench.
If you're putting him over Vieira, that's a vote of confidence, you know.
That's a power move. Fair play to him.
Because he signed Vieira for what, 35 mil?
I thought it was 40.
When Ornstein tweeted the Vieira thing, he said that it's limited minutes because of the arrival of Marino and the upcoming of Ethan. So that shows trust. Yeah. He is prioritizing Ethan over Fabio.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else. I'm just having a brain fart at the moment.
That's all good, bro.
But look, let's get down to business predictions. I'm gonna start with you, Tureece. We got this lineup. It's the official lineup here, and it's all said and done. It is actually a good looking lineup, except for the midfield. You already know how I feel. But listen, the Mandem has spoken. I gotta go with it. We'll see if it cooks. But yeah, my whole thing is Tureece. Let me hear at you. Yeah. What's up with the prediction? Do you reckon we will cook Villa, or will it be a draw? What are you saying?
I feel like if you go with this lineup, goals are gonna come. I feel like there's gonna be a load of goals in this game. Do I think we'll concede? If we start Zinchenko, I feel like we will concede, man.
Yeah.
But I'm split between 2-1 or 3-1. I'm gonna go 3-1.
Nice.
I'm gonna go 3-1.
I've gone for 2-1. I agree with you. I think we're going to concede because of Zinchenko. But I don't think it necessarily come down Zinchenko's side. But
yeah, I don't. But it's just
not
because he's in the team. I'm just a bit more at edge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think in a way, like he kind of does make you feel like that. Even the players kind of know it. But because he's so secure, I don't even think he's completely secure. But because he's brave in possession, he will give us a lot more going forward than mistakes going back. That's my thing with him. And in this game, because the mid blocks, like I mean, you might have heard it all over the place. Mid blocks are a problem. Defending with a high line, teams that do that, that's a problem. We couldn't beat Fulham last season because of that. Porto away, we struggled, and even at home, apart from the goal, we struggled really. Yeah. And those teams tend to do that. It's a very Portuguese type of management, not just sit back in their box, but all right, I will sit back, you break me down, but I will continue a high line. Like that's what we struggle with, because I don't think we to be honest, I don't think we have enough runners in behind. That's why I would want another winger before the window shuts. Get me another winger, like with speed. I know everyone's talking about Nico Williams. If there was
not going to happen.
He's got number 10 now. He's got number 10 now at Bilbao. So
exactly, it doesn't seem likely. But
Cost a
that's
lot
the
too.
type of winger I'd want, Tereak. That's the
Yeah.
type of one.
Yeah,
Like
100.
even if it's not him, like I wasn't against Ademola Lookman.
I said this. I said
was
You
this.
gonna-
Because he
I
can play
kind of
he can
was.
play across the whole front three.
I
Striker, left
kind of
wing, and
was
right wing, I
though.
believe.
Kind of lie.
Yeah.
No, no,
Why?
no, no,
Why
no.
will?
Well, I'll be honest. Well, yes, he has pace, and I
You're a
can't.
You're a Serie A man. You've been watching.
I know. I know. Listen, I can't deny what he has done with Atalanta, but the thing is, yeah, he can also be inconsistent. He's inconsistent. You know what I mean?
But
Especially
he's
in
still
front
going
of
to be a
goal.
starter. So
And
I know, but because of what he's done with Atalanta, he probably does expect to start.
maybe true. Yeah. Does he start at PSG though?
yeah, no, we don't. Come on, Dembele, Barcola's cooking recently.
You know what? Listen, I mean, I know PSG probably want a lot for him, but actually, no, he plays more so on the right in it. But
Because he's going by PSG by the looks of it.
Yeah.
They won 6-0 tonight.
would you guys take okay, question. He plays more on the right. I don't really see him play on the left, but would you guys take Federico Chiesa?
No, not because I don't rate the player. Injuries, bro. Them injuries are mad.
Because that's the same reason I said no to Neto. Injuries. And talking about Neto, wait, guys, can I ask you one thing?
Of course.
Because I've been grilled for this. Would you guys take Sterling?
No.
No.
Why?
No.
Why?
It's not.
Man said why. You see, it's a no.
Tereak, now she wants
Tureece, no. You see, you said why. That's a red flag, my friend. No. Imagine, yeah, man said why. Explain yourself, sir.
Let me explain myself. Listen, the guy has over 100 Premier League goals. He's won it all.
Okay.
Arteta knows him from his time at City. Listen, we need a guy that's gonna come in with experience and push on and score the goals we need. He's that guy. Short-term fix. Why we wait for Nico?
I hear that, but that was 2 years ago.
But what about
3 years
what
ago?
has he done with Chelsea though?
That's
But
what I mean.
but come on, that's Chelsea. Look how much players they've got. Maresca's complaining they've got 40 guys and only 20 people train or something, and they leave the rest. Their squad is just a mess. The whole environment's a mess. You can't blame Sterling for that. Remember, when Sterling went, he was supposed to be the face of the project.
The main reason why I said it though, Tureece, I put it on my Twitter actually. I don't know if you've seen Edu's interview. He did one with Men in Blazers, with someone called Roger. Yeah, he's quite a good man. I like him. But he said there's 3 key elements when signing and getting rid of and getting rid of players. 1, their age. He doesn't fit that. He's 29. 2, their salary. Huh?
Marino. He's 28.
No, but this is but the 3 elements. Yep. So Marino's age doesn't favour him. The second one, the salary, which Marino is very good because he's in Spain and he's always like 60k a week. Raheem Sterling's on over 300k a week. We're gonna have to take even if he asks for half of that wage, it's still too much for Raheem Sterling at this point in his career.
150k. I thought that.
For a point in his career, he's 29. Like, if we're not going to be able to sell him on to Reece, if you weren't good, let's say you want Nico Williams now, and Nico says, "Yeah, how are we going to get rid of Sterling?"
I hear your point, but it's just the quality. I can't forget the quality. And I feel like
that was years ago, though. The thing is,
but it's because he's gone to Chelsea and they've ruined him. I feel like Arteta can get the best out of him.
But let's not forget this, Tureece. Even in his last year at Man City, he wasn't performing.
He still scored goals, though. He scored goals.
He had chances in front of him, goal that you would think, many years ago,
Sterling
would have buried it.
The whole reason he left is because he wasn't playing.
He fell off levels, bro. It's not the same Sterling that it was years ago.
He had Jesus starting over him at left wing.
But I'll take him, man.
I don't get me wrong. I rate the player, and I think he's actually a Premier League legend. But not now. Not for the point that we're at. We can't take these risks. I don't think he would take half of his wages anyway, Tereak.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
But like he would, lowest he'd probably take is what, 250k, and that's
Yeah.
way too much.
It's
Yeah,
mental. That's
Who's
mental.
our highest pay? What's our highest?
I think it's Havertz, right?
Havertz were like 280.
I thought it was 300k. That's what Havertz is.
It's a bit less than that. Like from what I've heard anyway. But like again, another thing I say all the time, because wages are always reported inaccurately. Apart from the top earners at each club. Like we know Havertz is there, but we don't know exactly how much. But we know it's in 280 late, and then 300 up to that. And then you've got Rashford. You know that because again 300, and then Casemiro. But everyone else is a bit murky. So yeah, hard. Take wages with a pinch of salt, because you hear like people were telling me like Lenny Yoro's on what 180k when he's, and I'm seeing 115. Like that's a big gap.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so with wages, be careful. But you know the top earners.
I hear what you're saying though,
but again, yeah, I don't think, and I think that's the big reason why we won't go for him. It's the quality. He'd be good. He could be good this season, but he's not. I think you got to remember he started playing football at 16, like professional. He's been playing professional football for 13 years now. Like, do you remember what happened to Wayne Rooney, Tereak? As soon as he turned 30, boom! This was one of the best players Man United have ever had. Because playing football at a young age, you still have the mileage on the clock. Body's not working the same way. He's not as explosive as he was, and he probably doesn't even have the hunger anymore. You know, like what we talk about with Rashford.
You think?
Yeah, so, I don't think he's got that hunger, man.
Yes. Okay.
So listen,
he's missed these chop.
So listen, Tureece, let me show you this. Yeah, this is gonna be just a piece of evidence. Yeah.
This was criminal. This was if you ever did this in an Arsenal shirt.
Do you really want this? Yeah. Do you really want this?
He's got to pass that. He's done it multiple times.
Do you want this?
Listen, you don't score over 100 Premier League goals for no reason.
Nah, that's where Tureece is right. Like, it's just.
Look at this. Point in his no. You see, no. Listen, yeah. In all seriousness, there's no doubt he will go down in the history books for sure. It's like now as like modern wingers, yeah, one of the best. I hear it, but for him to come to Arsenal now, it's just a madness. You know what I mean? The salary would be too much. I think he can't cut the mustard just like he used to. I think we need someone that's younger, who has better ability than him, and really who has has more hunger than what Sterling has. I think Sterling at the moment, he's just there just for the vibes. I think if he were to leave, I think he'd probably go for Saudi or somewhere else.
And that's what and just adding on to that about the hunger part is, the age is not too much different with Mourinho, but we're signing Mourinho from Sociedad, where he hasn't won anything major, so he's still got that hunger. He's done everything, Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, fair enough.
Apart from the Champions League, so maybe that. But apart from that, he's won everything there is to win in England.
All right, cool. Okay, cool. But with that point, why are people hailing this Gundogan signing so much then?
That's what I'm saying. I think it's good, but it's not as people think that it's going to take Man City to another. No.
It's just for squad. But you know what's funny though? He still has that hunger though. Even at like his age, he still wants to compete at like a top level.
But he won't play as many games as he did as his last season.
No. Obviously not. But he's just there.
In the clutch moments. It's in the clutch moments where he'll turn up. That's what I think he's there for.
Yeah. But kind of did get sidetracked with the whole, Raheem Sterling talk. But Tereak, what was your prediction for this one?
2-1 to Arsenal.
Say 2-1 to Arsenal.
I hate 2-1s. That's why I didn't say it. They're just so cagey. That's why I went 3-1.
It's true, bro. I hate it because you don't want to be hanging on last minutes 2-1.
Yeah, literally.
It's tough to say. I'll be honest. I feel I feel like we will concede. That's for sure. 'Cause I think with that lineup that we have made, well, yes, I think Zinchenko, people will be looking at him mostly as to get the blame. But I think with the way Saliba was playing against Wolves, I wouldn't be too surprised if he does lose a bit of possession at the back. Because honestly, he did have a terrible game last time out. I'm hoping he does sharpen up his skills ahead of this game, and I'm hoping that was just rust. But still, he better not have that kind of performance than what I saw against Wolves.
He's a big game player, though, Saliba. So
no, for sure. No, yeah, definitely. I get that, but still, no matter the situation, even especially now against Villa, you can't give away those kind of chances. You can't do that. So I reckon I see. I reckon 2-1. It's going to be a close game. So 2-1.
2-1.
Hopefully we're right, man. And we're doing the preview or whatever, if we do a review or anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we will. We will. I'm going to keep you boys in check.
Will, you were right. Tereak, you were right.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep you boys in check. We will be doing the review. So everyone keep your eye out there on the channel.
Stay tuned.
But no, listen, I do want to say we have reached the end of the show, and I do want to say a special thank you to my special guest, my man Tureece from Mandem Talk Arsenal. Big up to you, my brother.
It was a pleasure
being here. Yeah, man, and I really do appreciate you. And of course to the homie Tereak from Tereak Talks. Subscribe to the channels. Both their links to their respective channels are in the description as we speak. So please follow them and show some love. And with that being said, man, is there any closing comments that you guys want to make before we head out here?
Thank you for inviting me on, Will. It's a pleasure, man. And Tureece, it's a pleasure meeting you too, man.
Yeah,
a young gooner, to say I'm quite young still, but you're younger than me, bro.
Yeah.
But it's a pleasure, man. And great meeting you and great chat, man, Will. And this is what we need in the space, man. A bit more Arsenal, sensible Arsenal chat. And a big shout out to you, Tureece, bro, because as a youngster, man, sometimes when I was 17, I was getting, you're watching all sorts. Your mind can change a bit quicker, and you might, but you're standing strong, man, and you got good opinions, and you back them up well. Even ones that I disagree, like the Sterling team, bro. I can't argue against your point and your reasoning. So keep doing that, man. You'll be strong in the future, and the same for you, Will. Keep this type of conversation flowing like how you're doing, bro, and having good chat, good questions, bro. We'll all shine together, man.
Man, trust me. You lot stay tuned for the review after the match, innit? We're gonna be here.
It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit, man. I'm telling you this right now. Yeah, keep it locked. We will be back for sure. But anyway, y'all, we out in it.
Peace.